What up, people? We back, we live. It's Friday, Women's Her Story Month. Been a really, really great week. Salute to everyone who's checking in or will check in. And we're about to get things cracking. So let me just go right into it. Here we go. All right. There he is, my man.
Buck Booyaka, what's going on?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Let me move myself up here a little bit. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Episode 11, Rap Sheet Podcast is in the building. My name is Daz. This brother right here really does not need an introduction, but he gonna get one. So let me just do my sway thing, and you're just gonna enjoy every moment of this. All right, and look at him. He's at work, so this is kind of perfect. Look at the backdrop. Look at my backdrop. Look at his. This is perfect. If you have lived in the Boston area for quite some time, you will see visuals all around the city. And you're probably like, damn, these are good, where you may want to go and take a picture with it or put it on your Instagram or whatever the case may be. Well, the guy that I have right here live and direct is the curator of damn near all of these things. He's my brother from another mother. We love the same hip-hop group. We love Little Brother to the fullest. I'm going to ask about how were you excited when they made their comeback, but you probably knew about it before I did because you know them. But we're gonna leave that right there. But nah, this is my brother from another mother, one of the greatest artists in the world, and someone that really loves the culture and the community at the same time. And we're going to get into all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, Problak is in the building. What's going on, sir? How you doing today?
Brother Daz, was good.
Hey, man, what's happening with you? How you been?
I've been good, man. You know, not complaining, trying to put some paint where it ain't.
Man,
and just keep it going, you know?
I was showing my girlfriend some of your works earlier this afternoon, and she said you are a talented brother. She loves your work. I sent her just a bunch of pictures from your website, just stuff that I seen you do in person, and she gives you round of applause, brother. So, word up, word up.
We appreciate it, man.
Did you show? Let's start there. Did you go?
Did I go to the what?
The New Edition concert. Did you go?
Nah, I'm in a group show tomorrow called Character is Key. It's the second part. So I had to sacrifice going to the NE concert and be here and put in that work, man. So you know, I think I done tune into everybody's live or Facebook feeds, and I done see the concert that way.
And it was looking really good too. They did a fantastic job. All right. So let's get into it real quick. You have been doing this since 1991, is that correct?
Indeed, 1991, where everything got started.
Was the Go ahead. Sorry, what was you about to say?
Oh no, 91 is when it all got started, man. That's when like I started taking it serious, and definitely felt like, you know, graffiti is gonna be the thing that I'll do.
Right.
You know?
What was the driving force that made you want to do this full time? Like, what was the reason for it?
Ooh, it was a whole lot of reasons, man. I mean, like just being involved in the culture and trying to find which discipline in the culture that I wanted to take forward. Being a shy guy, I naturally gravitated towards doing graffiti because you know, to have a rhyme or to bust, like, you know, breakdancing moves or anything like that. My cousin Mantera, it all happened when, like, literally we was in his room, you know what I'm saying? And we had a DJ Nesquick, who would practice under us, and we hear the latest and greatest. And while he's writing rhymes, or he'll write me a rhyme to say, I was always thinking, like, well, how could I get in to, like, really know that I can go hard? And at the neighborhood house around Orchard Park, there's an older brother by the name of Mo Harris, and he was doing people's names with the B-boy characters with the Sharpie marker and, like, flawless. You know what I'm saying? So I got the bug bit me right then and there, man. So born and raised in Roxbury, see Roxbury influences, and, you know, and it took off from there, man. And I started hanging with other brothers to, you know, get involved and get around the city, you know?
Right. That's what's up. Well, this must be the week for Roxbury, because we just had Orchard Park's NE tear down the garden, and you're a Roxbury native, so this is Roxbury's week right here. We're just going to give you all the flowers this week. Roxbury done that, but as you can see, Sorry, bro. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
War
Do it. And I'm from New York City
Chester, I see.
originally, but I spent most of my life in Boston in this borough right here. So sorry, bro. We love Roxbury, but you know,
Well, it's cool. You know,
this is where it is, no doubt.
y'all only this big. It's all right.
Hey, we gotta have something. You got. Wait, see, this is why I'm mad right now. I'm gonna be a hater right now. You got New Edition, you got NOG, and you got Guru. All came out of Roxbury. What do we got? Nothing. I'm hating right now, but nah, salute to those three generals, man. Definitely, man. Edo, rest in peace, Guru, and New Edition, all that. Let's get back into this. Something I didn't know. I didn't know you co-founded Artists for Humanity. I thought you just worked there.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess that's a part of working here. It's co-founding it.
Right.
Yeah,
No, but I thought when I met you and you were there. I just thought they just hired you on. I didn't know you co-founded it. So how did that come into place? How did Artists for Humanity start?
Oh man, we was in middle school, and you know, quite naturally, when there's an art project coming across, and me getting into it, with like SWAT, my man Keon, Anthony, like all of us that was in the Phoenix cluster, we felt like we were getting out of class because there wasn't artwork in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So we felt like we was getting out of class, going to the library, and getting into something that would work out. Happened to be something that we were doing after school. We did a project with a lady by the name of Susan Rogerson, who came in with wild ideas and exposing us to, like, you know, different artists. But I think what she was soon to find out, it was that there were a few of us in there that were already like clicked up, and we had our little crew called Mooney Productions. So whenever anything would happen at that middle school, when like LL came through the school with the cool school video, and we did like videos to stay in school and anything that had to do with like hip hop, our principal let us paint the auditorium. So that naturally led to us just working on any projects in the school. From that time that we did that triptych in the library, she invited us to her studio, and you know, from that summer on, we were like rocking for 2 years. I see somebody threw up in the chat like they remember the cart downtown. Yeah, that's when things was popping, man. Like, imagine being in high school and, like, you know, I'm at the Roland Hayes Division of Music in Madison, but I had this like secret hideout where I would go and develop my skills as an artist. So that was at Artists for Humanity. You know, when we started to develop and call it the name that it is, man, it was 2 years in the mix, real deep. And then we just started to get involved with like airbrushing shirts, painting murals, painting live on Newberry Street, like all the stuff that I was getting exposed to and just getting my chops with. It was definitely on the strength of being on the scene and being active. And, you know, ALA crew started. We started running the city a certain way. And, you know, here I am today. Fortunate enough to tell the story.
Absolutely. You know? Ladies and gentlemen, if you just now tuned in, we got the legendary Problak in the building. And this guy is, like I said, if you've ever been in the city of Boston, you've seen a mural or anything that's painted, most likely this is the brother that did it with the help of some great artists. We're going to get in to that now. So Artists for Humanity, you got a lot of young people coming in, which is, I'm sure, a great thing for you because you get to bring on the next generation of graffiti artists and visual curators once you're all said and done. Who are some of the ones that you basically raised up and are still out there doing it right now? Let's give some people some flowers real quick. Speak on that.
Oh man, some of the people that came through that I still rock with, and I think it's at the time now where we're just raising each other. We have my man Astro, rest his soul. He's watching over all of us so that we can get busy, along with my brother Tyrone, both of my brothers. You have my man Soam. Soam is a problem out here right now, getting busy. The homie Tense, Droop, you know, and then a lot of brothers that are just peers in the sport. Where you got my man Marco 27. Nobody that we personally raised. We was just around each other. You know what I mean? And held each other accountable, doing the ALA crew, man, and just getting busy. So I can go on a laundry list, like a super laundry list. But props to my brothers who are in the game. You got SWAT, you know what I'm saying? You got my man Ferb, uh, Dean Five, one of the livest in the city. You get what I'm saying? Like I could go, my man Quest, Zone, Click, uh, Clue, Big.
Names and just
I could go on for days. The entire crew
right.
is just full of all stars, man. But we was each other's paths through neighborhoods that we probably couldn't even get through. So with the spotlight Artists for Humanity, that was like the honeycomb hideout. We had the best of the best come through here and get busy. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying? So
did you just say squad for you to envy? Did that just hear you say that?
you said what?
Did you say squad for you to envy? Is that what you just said?
Oh no, no, no! I
Oh,
said my
okay.
man SWAT.
Oh, okay.
My Wi-Fi's probably beat up.
Nah, it's cool. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly, but I'm familiar with the ALA. I do know who they are. Salute to the ALA all day. I do remember them. Um, you came up during the golden years of hip hop, and I know that is very, very important to you. Um, with the ties of graffiti art and the hip hop culture are hand in hand. For anyone out there that has seen the movie Wild Style, I don't think I really need to say anything else. That right there is a classic for graph writers and for the hip hop culture all in a sense. But as it pertains to the culture, you growing up in that time frame, which was arguably the best time of hip hop and will forever be, um, what was the influence and who was you listening to, either then and or now, that just put you in the zone to create the masterpieces that you've been doing for wow, almost 30 plus years now?
Right, right. What's crazy is that when you got somebody local who does it, right, or you
Mm-hmm.
got family that's local that's doing it. My cousin Man Terror was rolling hard with the whole wise guys situation, where like uniting the crews in Boston was a real big thing for us. So when we were listening to other cats who were a part of that whole wise guys movement, it was like I'm diehard Man Terror like forever. My cousin really paved the way for me to listen to like different skills that was local in the city. But we all came up listening to Big Daddy Kane. You know, arguably, you know, hip hop heads that people in the barbershops will go back and forth for. So it depends on the era. The Blastmaster KRS-One was definitely on the scene. You know,
Absolutely.
when things slowed down a little bit, EPMD was holding strong for a minute. And then when like the new styles from Daz Effects, the leaders of the new school, like the range, depending on the years, it always made like an impact on what it was. But then
Mm-hmm.
when the Wu-Tang Clan came out, shit.
Yeah, right.
Because we just resonated with Wu, Mob Deep,
Yeah.
Nas, like the whole everybody that was like out of the city that we can relate to made sense. But I think it was dope when like we seen Wise Guys really doing their thing because it just was like, all right, we got a crew as well. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that shit like held weight. So how that impacts or impacted the work that I do, I always
Mm.
felt like I needed to showcase that, like, we got real hip hop in this city as well. We don't always have to run out of state or somewhere far to make it happen. And, from the skating rink on down to like, the talent shows or Critical Massive or all these things that were just active hip hop, practices in the city. If you were somebody, you was there. You know what I'm saying? And we listening to everybody, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Salute to Mantera, definitely a good guy. I can say I know him personally as well. So, Mantera, if you're here, salute to you, my brother. We'll get you on here eventually and talk all things Mantera and oh man, we just want to get to that eventually. Platforms that provided a spotlight for artists of for Boston artists trying to get on. You have been affiliated with a whole bunch of them. Blackout Boston, Critical Breakdown was a very important one, an influential one. Cindy Diggs has probably been influential in your life. A whole bunch
Mm-hmm.
of people, man. Like, who were your mentors when you were coming up? Who did you look up to?
Oh man, mentors. They weren't people that I selected, but with my cousin, that was my my brother, my peer, one of my mentors. So I knew how to move and groove. when I came across like Zone, Click, Wombat, those were brothers Quest that played a huge influence. My brothers Ferb and SWAT, you know what I'm saying? They were huge in it. Then when we got tight with the ALA clique, we got Chemo, Najma, Dietrich, Kenny. I can name like a whole lot of people that, depending on the type of work that I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
it got like real. And then when I started to take like anything from the pad to the paper or like a canvas super serious,
Yeah.
there were folks that I was digging into that I probably didn't think they were paying any attention to me. And now I kick it with them like for real. So you got brothers like Paul Goodnight, Rob Stowe, um, you know, my man Larry, he texts me all the time. OG will text me to this day about like, paintings that he's doing. And it's wild because it doesn't stop. But one of my like super duper, it's wild, like talking about mentors because I wouldn't think they were mentors until I
Mm-hmm.
started mentoring myself. And then there's a lot of like, young cats that I rock with that like let's say when we was kicking it with Dean Five, the same practices he would show us, it was like the same wins that we would do with like Tense and Sohm and the rest of these cats, man. So there's a lot of people that we looked up to, and then there was a lot of ways we was getting out of the city where like our older G's or our influences were like definitely playing into the styles that we rock to today.
Amen.
From Lynn to Mattapan, we had it going on.
Amen to that, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just now tuned in, the legendary Problak is here, taking time out in his element to vibe with us and give us the jewels for life that we will appreciate going forward. Um, where am I? Where do I want to go from here? Okay, so I talked to many MCs on. I built with Rex and Acrobatic and so many other great artists and stuff, and they've explained how they formulate the records and stuff that they make. But with you, you're a visual artist. So how do you go about creating these things? Do you create a template and then on a small piece of paper and then put it up on the big screen for everyone to see, or do you just freestyle it and just have it in your head? Like, what does your creative process consist of?
My creative process consists of a lot of things, man. It's definitely like one part good music, you know what I'm saying? Another part experiences that I lived. Others where I wanna say something, and I know that one piece of artwork won't get it all. You know what I'm saying? Like if I ever thought a wall wasn't big enough, I'm definitely kind of showing that right now. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a series that I recently worked on, and I've been working on it since like 2017. And I feel like I do smaller paintings as studies to then go to the walls and understand like my character style, the way I want to render things. I've discovered like a visual language that's like super hard to do without you like repeating yourself in a
Mm-hmm.
way that like people are looking at something and it feels like you're doing the same thing. Um, there's a gift and a curse to that because like when I came up with this visual language, I like, people know me for throwing the galaxy and everything right now. And I'm trying to evolve from that, but it
Mm-hmm.
seems to be the thing that like, pulls everything together because that's how my thoughts are universal. But to discover a palette, that was probably the craziest thing. So in all my murals, I got red, black, and green. You know what I mean? And you would just have to look at it to know that palette transcends throughout all of them. You just got to see how I laid it down, you know,
Yeah.
and then I'll let the area kind of tell me how to apply, the colors in the right spots. But
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely a plan. There's a blueprint. There's ways you got to propose your idea. There's a story that unlocks the ability for it to live on as well, because in this city, there's a possibility that a building might go over something that's classic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, something might get torn down as classic as like the Roxbury Love mural. You know what I mean? But how do we keep that mural living on through our work? And that's on the strength of like just making sure that we understand the stories, we kick it with the artists, we take care of what is given to us as jewels, and kind of shout those murals out throughout the rest of our process. So
Exactly.
I don't have just one way to bust a joint, man. I try to approach it at all angles, and then I let the areas that I do it in, the communities, the people that I lock in with, their stories become my narrative. You know what I mean?
That's dope. That is dope. Their
Hmm.
stories become your narrative, and probably vice versa, because I'm sure I've seen a lot of your pieces, and I can look at that and be like, man, if I was still in my MC days, I could probably write a whole album or two based off just your pieces alone and just tie it in. Uh,
Mm.
so again, what you're doing can reflect in a lot of other people's lives of what they're going through. Man, it's just an amazing thing. And even as a father now, I'm sure this even has more meaning for you to do the work that you do, because you're now personally carrying on a legacy after you leave this earth and ascend to the heavens, because that's where you're going. Because you know, good people don't go to hell, great people go to heaven. So
Mm.
that's my
Mm.
brother right there. So
That's a bar right there, bro.
stop it. I'm not going backwards. I love the DJ thing way too much. Stop it. We will get into that though. Lots of black owned companies, organizations, you see you as the go-to guy. And that's dope, because I feel we have enough talent in our own community to really just cover everything that needs to be covered. So when like the group Black Dollar hollers at you and get your murals in their videos, or when Black Market calls you up, or Bam Stretch calls you up and everything like that, and they say we have this idea, how does that make you feel to know that organizations of color really want to use you, and I hate the word to use you, but want to collaborate with you on these amazing projects? Like, speak on that, the love of just black culture, accepting you and bringing you in to see these ideas become life. How do you feel, man? Like, did you ever envision that when you started this thing 30 years ago? And even if you did, to see that it's coming to fruition, how do you feel? Speak on it.
um, yeah, never seen it coming a mile away. I just knew that like hard work um will put me in a position where like people will trust what's coming from my hands. I feel like I'm just a vessel to a lot of the messages that I'm putting out, but I'm not alone. You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of, I have a squad, I got a family, I got a crew. So like whatever I'm doing, if I say I kick it with Dean Five, then you know I gotta be like on point with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't just name drop, or you don't see me with people just to be around. I have to be able to reflect who
Right.
I'm around and embody. And then when we got like we have newer young cats that are getting in the mix and like really looking up to what we're doing. It's cool to be able to put them on to a history that's like deeper than the surface of what you're seeing right then and there that you like,
Yeah.
and I feel like my I just got started. I have a responsibility, like what I'm doing is gonna speak for a lot of people. But
Hmm.
I definitely don't wanna like stop. You know what I mean? I don't wanna stop. And for me to get in these different like areas where I'm called the go to guy, if you wanna call it that, it's
Hmm.
dope because I can like I can like funnel the workout to my family, like to my squad, and make sure that like the same type of attention or hand is on it. There's so many things that we're a part of, and we're not just like it's not just one layer to what we're doing. It's a whole lot of. So it's a good feeling. It's a great feeling to know that like there's practices of just showcasing that, and then letting people know there's black people in Boston.
Yeah.
There's black like we're here, and we're
Hmm.
getting busy, but I'm just connected to a larger community of people, and just letting that letting them know how I can show them better. I can tell them how connected and real things are, and I
Right.
think it's super cool just to like be that guy that they go to, and I have some type of answer. I
Man,
mean, I
man,
have the
terror.
answer.
Your man, terror is saying you are the GOAT, hands
I'm a.
down. And I'm not going to disagree with that. I mean, this is a valid argument that I probably won't win. So you're right, Terror. This is a go. Let me ask this question from a cultural perspective. I'm from the city where hip hop basically started. All the elements started in New York. Shout out to Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, the Bronx, all of NYC. But back then, graffiti art wasn't really accepted. They called it a crime. Where what I saw when I was growing up, because I moved to Boston when I was 10, so I got a chance to see it on the trains. and in the subways and in tunnels and just on brick foundations and whatever else have you on buildings and stuff. And I just saw people voicing how they felt. This was like we didn't read, we couldn't get our knowledge from the newspapers, so the graffiti art became our voice. But it was considered illegal. It was considered a crime. Nowadays, it's culturally accepted. Businesses use it. Corporations use it. Some use it wrongly. We won't get into the WP part of it. We'll leave that part out. But it is now more or less accepted in today's society. As someone who is a champion for the visual art for this type of lifestyle, do you see that it's come full circle and is now a victory for us, for you to be seen in this fashion, or do you feel it's still got a little ways to go before it gets to that point?
Nah, it's definitely victorious, man. Because when I go to other cities, that spray can and the ability to, like, you know, execute a letter style or do anything of that nature, it's the culture's alphabet, man. And we're telling the stories in a way that, like, whatever we're captivating on the walls, there's a core audience, there's a core base that when you rock graffiti, other graffiti writers know. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my man Snaz in the mix, Vice out in, you know what I mean, Brockton. I'm seeing people in the chat. But these are brothers, I'm telling you right now, that are real with it. And real recognizes real. I feel like the way that you would look to be publicly accepted is just by other writers in other cities. Yeah. So, like, you know, the craziest compliment I ever got was, like, when somebody confused me from being from New York, right? But then I had to tell them, like, yo, chill, I'm from Boston. You know what I mean? I'm from the Bay. And I was on the West Coast, so they just knew, at least they knew I was from the East Coast just by looking at my style. Yeah. And I feel like when you have a style that like speaks true to where you're from, and it breathes that element, you're laying it down for you and everybody else that you connect with, man, and just keeping it real. How it's being accepted or whatever way it's being kind of put out there, I want to say it's our responsibility to make sure that it's in the right hands and that we're, like, telling our stories with our voice, so that the younger cats can come up and do it better. You know what I'm saying? Than we've ever done. They've got entire painting companies now that exist that throw jams that bring people together. I was just a part of the first Black organized mural festival in Detroit, and they don't get no Black in Detroit. You know what I mean? All behind what I'm able to do with a spray can. You know what I'm saying? So, like, props to anybody I've ever came across with that, like, we speak the same language, or we're able to just kind of celebrate each other in that context. So I feel like in one area where it's successful, there's another area of responsibility that we got to have so that it just stays as true as it possibly can to folks that are checking it out and seeing what it is, and just meeting folks and passing it, you know, passing the torch. Getting down with group shows, like a group show I'm in tomorrow. You know, if anybody's in the area, pull up. It's called Characters Key Part 2 at Scope.
We're going to definitely give you a chance to talk about that event, which leads basically into the next question. What are you working on now? What have you got coming out? Summertime's about to come around. I know a lot of things jump off in the bean around the summertime. So what have you got coming up? But before you enter that, actually, hold up. Let's talk hip hop. There's not too many people that love hip hop more than me. I can say that. I can wholeheartedly say that. I will debate with anyone. I have my top 5, my top 20, my top 50, my top 100. I still have a vinyl collection. I love this art form to the fullest. But you trump me in a lot of ways because your love for the game is a lot deeper than mine. And I always like learning from people that are around the same age as me or even older than me, because I don't know everything. But for someone that loves the music culture, what is it about hip hop that makes you just come alive? And who is your top 10? That's right. I'm asking.
Damn, you brought it there to the top 10. So what about the culture that makes it alive for me is just to see how far we've came with just being able to take care of our families, and just like the lessons and we refer to songs like people probably refer to quotes from the Bible, to things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? We're living this culture to the point where like how
Mm-hmm.
we dress, our vernacular, or just even the way that we come across things. I must have a million songs in my head, right? You know,
Yeah.
and I know that like there's a lot more to go. Regardless if we understand what's happening now or not, people can just relate to each other. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that beat is what connects us all. You asked me to break it down to the top 10. You're you're wilding out with that, man.
Before, okay, all right. Let me do this a little differently. I won't say top 10, but what is one of your go-to records when you're curating your stuff? Like, what is a record you always have to have on heavy rotation? Let's start there.
Oh man, damn. Here you go. It's the
I mean, I can tell
it's
you one of
wild
mine,
because
and then you can piggyback off of that if you want, because this is kind of cool. Like whenever I get ready to do an event, the record I use for my soundtrack is Gangstar's Full Clip.
hmm
Just
see,
because the way the beat is the sample. First of all, I love the original sample, but the fact that they're dedicating it to Big L and then eventually Guru rest in peace. That record is just like a good record just to sound check with. I'm just like, man, are you so what brings you to that moment where you just gotta make that screwed up face like, get you in that zone?
there's a lot of music that does that, man. I'm talking like well, I tell you one thing, like
Mm-hmm.
when my man oh, like anything Dilla, you already know. That's an automatic. Like when it's February, I can play Dilla all month and be straight. It's like it's what it is, right? But we
That's
got to go back. We got to go back to the Wu joint, right? To the Wu Tang Clan, the click. And you know, on the Only Built for Cuban Links, when they, you know that the opening, the Striving for Perfection. Hey
mm,
yo, son. You know, like that whole they just talking to each other and they like
yeah,
it's like peep the fly shit, son. And they talking about what they gotta do this shit for their kids. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? That's a part of our vernacular. This is the reason why we doing shit. So I
yeah,
think that sets it off for me in a lot of ways where like it's the conversations that you know the rest of the album is gonna pop off. So there's not like a particular song. It's just the
mm,
way that like I can listen to something and not you know, we from the day and era where you can't fast forward through a tape like that. You gotta
mm,
let it like you gotta let it run. So the Only Built for Cuban Links is probably my hardest joint to ever sit back and be like,
yeah,
this speaks to you know this speaks to a whole lot of shit, man. So
yeah,
anything Wu that we can't we know it, and it's not
mm,
because you like you played it every day, so you could just refer to it and just keep it rocking, yo. You know what I'm saying? I see Alicia, she put up 36 chambers, no
yeah,
doubt, man.
yeah,
It's all about the time of year that we grew up. Like me and man grew up listening to like Big Daddy Kane, Kumo D, and like LL's bad as hell, yo.
yeah,
LL is one of the I can anything from KRS and them dudes I can recite verbatim, but when it comes down to just kind of moods and modes,
mm,
we could just go through the time. We can go through the years. I would say Illmatic is probably the one that I've always gone back to, regardless of what. It doesn't ever seem long enough,
yeah,
and you know that was what I was popping in my Walkman, walking around. You know when I was tagging and bumming, I was playing Represent,
mm,
knowing I could get bopped. You know what I'm saying? Like it was too crazy. Then my cousin had a song called Blazer Town. You know, like it depends on the day and the mood, but you
mm,
can't really there you go, Mar HNIC. You already know that's so anything my little brother listened to,
mm,
yeah, that
yeah,
Prodigy joint, man, that was a mean one too. Alchemist did his thing on that album.
yeah.
You'd have to bring up certain joints and I can give you like shot for
Okay,
shot.
and
I could tell you
let's do that
let's
then.
do that. Let's
You
do that.
just mentioned Illmatic, which is probably one of the best albums in music, period. Not just our culture, but just music, period. But the intro alone really ties in with you because for those of you who have not seen Wild Style, sometime see this damn movie. I don't know how many times I've watched it. I think at least 100 times at least. I might even watch it after I'm done with this. But the intro alone kind of speaks to you because, you know, the guy comes from overseas into his house and sees his brother tagging up the walls in the house, and he's like, "Stop effing around, and this ain't gonna work for you." He's like, "Oh yes, there is." He's like, "You
Yeah,
doing
you at
this?
home doing this shit?
Stop fucking around
Fucking
and da da
around
da
and being a
da.
man. Yeah.
There ain't nothing for you out here." He's like, "Oh yeah, this." And I'm sure when you first heard that, you was like, "Damn, I gotta meet Nas just to tell him thank you because he's speaking to me because he was a graph artist like you." So that intro alone, what did it make you feel when you heard that? Let's start there.
Well, let's just say there's quotes from Wild Style that we live by. You know what I'm saying? We
Mm-hmm.
yelled Scooby Doo because of Fab Five, or you seen it on the news, you heard it on the TV. A to the K, nah, A to the mother Z. When he pulled out the shotty, I was like, yo, there's things where you had to know clips from movies that influenced the way that you moved. And what Illmatic did for me, it just gave us a light and insight of another dude from the projects, right? Because we project hits, and
Yeah.
Nas capsulized some of the things that we can like really, really go off of, yo. Like
Yeah.
it's not a game when that brother spoke, man. And what he was
Yeah.
saying was painting vivid pictures. And don't let a music video come out and it looked like some shit that was from around where we was at. We was all about that. From what he was
Yeah.
wearing from head to toe, it just matched the vernacular. You know what I'm saying? So when Nas was clapping on with the Wild Style movie clips, man, that just means that he totally we spoke. He gave us like the decoder in the beginning, like, yo, we speak the same language, listen up. And that's what it was, man. So that's what
Exactly.
Illmatic did as soon as that shit came on, yo.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Problak right here. I'm not going to keep him much longer because he's got things to do to get ready for tomorrow, but we're just going to knock out a few more moments and then get you on your way. Tribe Called Quest.
Whew.
Um, I they were known as the Beatles of hip hop. Rest in peace to Phife Diggy. I wish he were still here. That was part of my evolution. And when I found out that he passed, I was just like, all right, I'm done. We're losing way too many of ours. But a Tribe Called Quest not only spoke musically but visually in the same sentence. Really just spoke volumes of just content that still is relevant to this day. And recently, as of today, I think earlier today, I posted something where they are now, people can vote them to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And as a first time, this is their first time, and I hope they get it. They deserve this. What did Tribe Called Quest do for you?
What didn't they do, man? They've when I've been questioning for the longest time, they've always gave us like music to digest. You get what I'm saying? Because when the Tribe Called Quest tape came out, it wasn't it wasn't anything that happened overnight. It wasn't turned over real fast. They got like 4 or 5 year gaps in between their albums.
Yeah,
So when you heard Tribe, you heard of the native tongues. Somebody's putting that up in the joint.
yeah,
So Tribe gave us the ultimate rap group's fantasy of like transcending between messaging and being black and proud, and then just speaking to us sonically through the music. You know what I'm saying? Like from the sample choice, people that they collaborated with, the vibe, just on the strength of decoding the raps.
mm-hmm.
Tribe Called Quest did a whole lot, man. From the videos and the the visuals on down to like how they like how the kids said there was a vibe, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to Nina Simone different,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I'm saying, and Patrice Rushen or anybody that they've sampled, right? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Where like I see somebody put in the joint lyrics to go, yo, that come inside me sample. Like anybody that ever uses that shit, I'm a sucker for the sample. But like Tribe killed it. You get what I'm saying? Without Tribe, we wouldn't have had an intro to Jay Dilla. You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And so they've done so much in the community of hip hop to bring forth, like if you ever got on the Tribe track, it was just legit. Like How many of us bugged out when the scenario came on? You get what I'm saying? And then they had a remix that was just equally as heavy with Kid Hood, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit just doesn't happen with any type of group. You know what I'm saying? We got Buster from Tribe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got we got we got the homie Consequence who's
yeah,
splashing and making noise. You know, like without a Tribe, we wouldn't have the Yays and the Pharrells and other brothers that spawned from that. Ali Shaheed with the Uma and how they did the Soulquarian thing. I can go on
yeah,
for days,
yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That was a
Oh,
time that changed the landscape of not only urban music but just culture. Period. To see what they did, like you mentioned, the Soulquarians, and then Shaheed went on to do Lucy Pearl with Dawn and Raphael.
Don and Raphael Sadiq. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
like that. And then Q-Tip went on to be like one of the best producers that a lot of people don't know he produced. Even I didn't know he produced half the records that he was a part of. But then De La and then Common and Queen and Moni and Chi Ali and Lords of the Underground and Beatna and like Black Sheep and just, man, you see, we gotta stop right there with that because we could
Yeah, the
go
native tongues
on.
and the
I'm
native
gonna mention
sons,
one
man.
more group, and then we're gonna talk about what you got coming up, and then we're gonna wrap this up. I mentioned them in the beginning. Little brother, little
Ah,
man.
LP fam.
Listen, I'm gonna share the story on how I found out about Little Brother, and then I'm gonna let you speak because you have a personal relationship with them. If you want to talk on it, that's cool. But back in 2003, I was with my man Reggie and Kyrie. Salute to those brothers. And we just went to Newberry Comics, and Reggie was like, "Yo, I'm gonna go in there and grab the CD real quick. I'll be right back." I'm like, "All right, cool." He came out with the listening, and I'm like, "Little Brother, who the heck are these? What? This a rap group?" He's like, "Yo, I'm telling you." I'm like, "What you telling me?" He's like, "Just picture a Tribe Called Quest meets Public Enemy meets Ice Cube. You've got Little Brother," and that's all I needed to hear. And I heard the album, and I was just like, "Man, I'm a fan for life." So when they came back after taking 9 years off and did "May the Lord Watch," Lord, I don't know how many backflips I tried to do. I couldn't stop. I was so happy to see them back. Little Brother to you. Um, both Pooh and Tay are fathers. If memory serves me correct, they're both married, but I'm not sure if that's the case in that. But to see a group like this bring back the sound of our culture from way back, because it's been missing for a while. For someone like you to see those two brothers do what they did, speak on the importance and the relevancy of Little Brother and Ninth Wonder as well.
Uh,
The Ninth.
oh yeah. So I mean, Little Brother embodied the way that we've known cliques to be back in the day, where like that whole Justice League, we got introduced to a body of producers, MCs, and like folks that are south of New York.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? That didn't sound like anything that was like crunk or nothing. This
Yeah.
is like the hip hop that like that groomed the way we listen to things. And they were talking about like grown shit. Just to know that they were young in college and they did the listening. You know what I'm saying? And just the power behind like what they took and made of something like Ninth
Mm-hmm.
opened up a whole lane of producing with using like FL with Fruity Loops and all that, or like
Yeah.
you got Crisis and their whole crew is just sick
Mm-hmm.
because of the door that opened. Their performance tight.
Yeah.
Brothers was like, you know what I'm saying? They've played the part where each album took on a persona, and for these dudes to do that minstrel show album, that shit was brave as fuck. That was a brave move. They
Yeah.
they bust like a Spike Lee, you know what I'm saying, move where like they had something to say and they
Yeah.
wanted to talk highly intelligent with a point where like you would never probably see something on BET from them, but like it didn't matter because if you got their music, you knew what it was. Um, I think it was just another lens on just listening to how like diverse their minds was. But even when they broke off and they did their own projects, I
Yeah.
mean, everything from Foreign Exchange on down to Pooh, collaborating with the meanest of the mean, like dog, we got strong projects from these brothers, man.
Yeah.
You know, and Fonte can just lyrically do whatever the hell he wants. And then rock a podcast with brother, with Questlove and entertain us. Like, these are very intelligent brothers, man. And so using the or moving in hip hop in a way where, like, they gave us quality projects, or to even know the recent bullshit that they was going through with not owning the listening, you know what I'm saying, and getting in a deal that, like, they got their music back. Everything about that journey has been in front of us, and we've been living through it, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I can't stop to thank what Little Brothers open up the doors on. But for everybody I've ever, like, connected with, I got a whole squad of young dudes I mentored that LB fam is all, like, soundtrack. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely do.
And just what came with it, man. So, like, big ups to Little Brother on that note.
Next time you speak to Fonte, tell him I'd love to interview him, please, because Rapper reached out to me, and I'm gonna interview him in, like, late April, probably early May, when his EP comes out. So I'm looking forward to that alone. But I would love to get inside the mind. Man, so make that happen. I'll pay it. Make that happen. Let me run down some accolades of yours. I didn't get to do this, but 2006, you were the Graffiti Artist of the Year, courtesy of the Mass Industry Committee. Salute to Lyrical, Irv, Dane, Big Head. You received the Goodnight Initiative Civic Artist Award. You received the 2020 Hero Amongst Us Award from the Boston Celtics. Man, what haven't you done? I'm just running off a little bit of your accolade. Yes, you can show off. You can. It's okay. Take a bow, brother. You deserve this. What do you got coming out now? You said you're doing a big event tomorrow. What's in the future for Problak, for AFH? Talk about what you got coming up.
Man, future moves. It's kind of wild that we speak about it in real time. But there's a show coming up at the Scope Apparel headquarters in JP. Group show called Character is Key, and it's the second, edition of it, man. It's a whole collective of just badass artists, that are off the hook. The lineup is serious. It's gonna be on 44B Center Street in JP. There's a $10 cover, but like, when you go up in there, it is gonna be serious business. Like, they're getting all the cats who are very, very active out and about, and to have the theme of a show be like Character is Key. There's a lot of people that I have personal relationships with that, like, are gonna come through and pull up, So if anybody's in the area and you're rocking from 7 to 11, come check us out. Big things. I got big things, boy. Big things. Me and my crew GM, we just landed on having artists in residency at Mass Art, which is amazing, and we get to kick it with the future of the city's contributors. Where we're going to do a mural inside of their school, so that's been an exciting thing. With Artists for Humanity, you know what I'm saying? I have a new position where I'll be coming up with a fellowship. Props to my man Fred, who's just been blasting on the internet with us and making us, not even making us. With the work that we're doing, he's highlighting that with the young people that are here, and just getting people to see what's been happening. We just had an open studios where there was a lot of love in the room, so the program's going to thrive. I'm going to be starting a fellowship pretty soon with some alumni where we're going to get busy and we're going to speak very loud on it. So, there's another version of Artists for Humanity that's going to thrive. We've been around for 30 years, and we're going to try and be around for 30 more. We're just getting it going.
What you mean, try to be around for 30 more? Really?
Try? You gotta be real about it, man. You gotta be real about it.
Nah, bump all that. You can be real about it and be humbled and all that, but come on, man. This is a pillar that will never end. And that's a great thing to say. I'm not trying to be cocky or show one up or anything like that, but it's really a good thing to see an organization like this start from the ground up with just a dream, just a vision, and to see where it is now. That's gonna last forever. Like, these are the type of things that you do, that you set in place, that will carry on forever after we're gone. You know what I'm saying? I could have mentored a whole bunch of upcoming MCs and mentored a whole bunch of upcoming DJs and radio personalities and all that. And that's the best part about it. I don't care about the money. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I gotta live. But the best part about this is being able to give back and bring up the next generation that comes under you because they looked up to you to want to even do it in the first place. And that's the best feeling in the world. So of course AFH is gonna last 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Come on now, man. That man, listen. And listen. Take a bow to what you've done. On a personal note, and I'm gonna let you let people know where they can hit you up on social media. But I want to say this to you: you're a good friend, great brother. I've learned from you how to keep things private until it's time to not keep them private. For those that know me, I was reckless. I just would talk and talk and talk, and people be like, "Does he ever shut the heck up?" I had to really like watch and learn how to move correctly, and then say things when it's on the verge of coming out. So now I'm just like, I'm not just going to tell people when it's coming. You'll just see it when it comes, and I've learned that from people like you. So I truly thank you for making me a better person mentally and learning how to do things correctly because wrong moves can burn bridges and you don't ever want that. And I've burned hella bridges. I'm going to be, and I've done it. But to be in the company of people like yourself who do things the right way, it's been an honor and a privilege to watch you grow, to learn from you. Only thing I can draw is Bart Simpson. I can't even do that right. I'm terrible. That's why I don't do it. But nah, from one brother to another, man. Now as a father and as a husband, doing the things that I'm trying to do, it is a pleasure to watch it. I'm glad I can call you friend, call you anytime, and thank you for doing this. In closing, let people know how they can find you on social media. Talk about the event again, and that's how we're gonna end this.
All right. And Daz, that was fully loaded, man. Thank you. You know, to my people out here that I love in Boston, grow and flow on. That's right, Carol. You said it the best. You can find me on all platforms at PROBLAK, either PROBLAK.com, PROBLAK on social media, and pull up 288-300. You know what I'm saying? Dag, I'm saying the old address. That's how long I've been here, right? My bad. It's 100 West 2nd Street, y'all. That's what it is, yo. Like, the last Wednesday of every month, we have an open studio, and like, I'm spoiled to get to see the future all the time, and I invite people who are in the area to come in and see how we rock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting in here right now, just giving an interview, and there's a lot of things that are going to be going down that you should pay attention to that are going to be very large. In the traditional style, you'll know when I'm about to splash. I just get nervous and don't want to jinx things, man. To everybody I've ever came across or that I rock with, whether in the graph world or here, you know, doing the things where I probably mentored your son or daughter. Yo, one love to the city. Mm-hmm. You know, keep us in the mix. And to the young people that are like, you know, up and coming, just know that the city is full and rich of history. And 9 times out of 10, you know, that degree of separation is nothing separate about it at all. Right. We're moving in one direction, and that's forward. We just got to help each other stay in each other's way so that we can do the right things. That's it.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This right here is a staple in the community. He's a staple for creators of color, world-renowned, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down south, overseas, everywhere. Get to know this brother, watch his work, but partner up with him because he's a badass, but he's not afraid to work with people and definitely bring on the next generation because that's what he's all about now. That's the legacy that he tries to carry, and he carries it well. Problak, I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. This has been another dope edition of the Rap Sheet Podcast. That is Problak. My name is Daz. Y'all have a wonderful weekend and watch this man work. Problak, I salute you. Thank you again, sir. And
thank you, Daz. I appreciate you, man.
All right, y'all. That's it. And God bless. One more thing, yo. Next week. Yes, sir. Yo, later.
If my daughter's watching, Daddy loves you.
Right. There you go. You know perfect way to end
Daddy
it.
Loves you, man. Everybody send her too. and I'll get with y'all soon, man.
All right, man. That about does it. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all again next Friday. Peace.
Diggity dads.
Yes, sir.